Before I begin, this Sunday I will be on King Sigma's channel. Hopefully the link will be down below if we do the hangout, in which we will discuss the book Disintegration, The Splintering of Black America by Eugene Robertson, the Pulitzer Prize winning columnist, and comparing that to my famed video, The Three Fates of Black America. Both of the links will be down below. How to join the elite part 24, time to get to work. And this video is definitely suited for what I'm seeing as of late, particularly with the energy of a lot of these individuals who are on this sector of YouTube. Now, I'm making this video, I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to upload it all within the same night. And the reason why I'm doing this is simple. It's because I've been doing so much in my real life that I haven't had a lot of time to really go on YouTube and make as much videos, or at least backup videos, as I would like. Yes, I would like to have all sorts of videos on deck so that I can just upload them piecemeal as time goes on. Actually, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. But for all of you who are here just making live streams after live streams about the same subjects, topics, to the point that it gets redundant, I'm sensing a lot of guys here are just lacking some sort of thing that distracts them, or better yet, drives them. And as I said, you don't need a drive, but at the very least, get a distraction. And that distraction comes from being busy. Time to go to work. Time to get busy. Time to find something to occupy your mind other than the same old stuff that has occupied the minds of the manosphere ever since I discovered it. And for starters, we all know one of the main things that occupies the minds of most men. It's the women. Whether it's the lack of women they're getting, the lack of quality women physically that they're getting, or the lack of cooperation and femininity. A lot of these men, for some reason, will make a majority of these videos about not only just women, but bitching about women, complaining about women, particularly how they don't cooperate with them, how they aren't submissive, how they aren't good looking. And look, read between the lines. When these guys argue about how, well, these women are unsubmissive and they're uncooperative and they're going to be fat, or you're going to have talk back, and don't watch out for it. It's their nature. It's their nature to do so. A lot of guys are sneak snitching on themselves. That's all this is. A lot of guys with their anecdotal horrendous experiences with women are coming to the manosphere trying to sell you this horror story, or this over-exaggerated horror story on female nature and how it's just gonna bite you in the crossfire like getting hit blindsided by a linebacker. The reason why I say over-exaggerated horror story is because, yeah, the dating world today, particularly in America, it's abysmal. Even if you are elite, I'm telling you this right now, it is abysmal in many places throughout this country, especially if you live in some far leftist crap hole where, you got fifth wave feminism is just about to encroach up, or some far rightist place where the best you can do is a trail Becky Sue with her 3 kids by Skylar, Bubba, and Cooter. So good luck with that. And we don't even talk about dating in the community. You can find all sorts of channels where I go in about that. As far as getting the work is concerned, a lot of these men are basically just obsessed with telling you how bad it is with women these days. And you know what? I'm not arguing that point. And I'm not even arguing with these guys telling their stories, even if it's anecdotal, telling their stories about female nature and what to watch out for. And yeah, even if a lot of these guys are doing it for money, this is the best and closest we're going to get to male cooperation. Because if we had real male cooperation in this country, this thing called female nature, which, by the way, I got something about that as well, wouldn't even be as horrendous as it is today. Female nature, in my opinion, is nurturing. Nurturing one's kids, and if the woman loves him, the husband as well. That's female nature. They may not be perfect, but this divorce trap and alimony and child support and alpha, rugs, beta, bucks, sleeping with everyone behind your husband's back in the cul-de-sac. You're telling me that this is female nature. If this is female nature, then quite frankly, the human race doesn't need to go on. We can just cut the human race right here, right now, and just end the experiment known as the human species. Or if this is just something that's Western, you know what? Let the Dow tank another 90 percentage points as far as I'm concerned. Because there's something that's inconsistent here. But as far as getting the work, a lot of individuals who are too busy honing in on their own purpose, honing in on their own craft, or at the very least are on the grind, they're too busy to bitch about this crap. I'm seeing dudes talk about how certain people and certain girls use certain guys, and how look, this guy's, he's starting to sound ADOS. He's starting to sound like a pro act. He's starting to, I'm not even go there, but because I have respect for him, but I'm treading very lightly. But dude, this is the exact reason why I say get to work. And if you are working, which I don't doubt a lot of these people are, but that little 9-to-5 gig or part-time gigs that you have, little gigs here and there that you have, that isn't cutting it. Because if it was, then you wouldn't be in the position where you're feeling like as if women don't respect you, and women see you as non-select, and women see you as just someone that's worth just being stepped on, or not even worth being stepped on if you were on fire. Look, I'm not saying to do all this for the respect and admiration of women. That isn't the thing. I'm saying to do this in order to get them off your focus. Men of yesteryear were not concerned about how women, particularly women who didn't cooperate and desire them, thought about them. They didn't care. They were too busy building infrastructures. They were too busy exploring the corners of the world. They were too busy fighting wars, even if it was another man's war, but they were too busy in order to focus on simple stuff that came with being a man automatically. And one of those things that came with being a man in the past, whether it was through the enforcement of the church and or state and or just society in general, was a feminine, submissive, or at the very least cooperative woman, or if you were lucky, women. A lot of societies made sure to not enforce the latter, because what we have today, which is a bunch of men who, if society was not as stable, or quote-unquote stable as it is right now, you would have just chaos in the streets, because you would have the have-nots feeling a certain kind of way, and they would, with all that built-up testosterone, they would just go roughshod against whoever. Whether it's other men who they felt were hogging more than their fair share of the women, men who had more resources, women, especially the women who they thought rejected them, and God forbid, in some cases, the children might be collateral damage, and we don't even talk about the teenagers and what they may face if SHCF ever occurred at the hands of some of these men who felt as if they were screwed over in the SMP. Don't be that kind of guy who has this pented up rage and tries to use all sorts of rationalizations and virtue of just, I'm better than you, I'm holier than you because you didn't like me when I was young. Trust me, the daggle didn't like me when I was young. The daggle didn't care for me. Trust me, there are a lot of daggles who still don't care for me. And if I died today, wouldn't give a shit at best. But I'm not letting the daggle or any other female, or any other male for that matter, determine my demeanor. A lot of this bitterness that I see is mainly due to these men not putting in the work. And I don't mean doing a little 9 to 5, doing a little 30 to 50 years, and then getting the gold watch and your little pension here and there so you can just sit on your ass and just talk more shit. I mean really doing the work. And I don't even mean just doing the work to get your money right or whatever. I mean doing the work to get your money right, to get your body right, your overhead low, your savings high. Shout out to Nagone. If you're in the place where people aren't cooperating with you, or if you're seen as non-select, to get the hell out of that city, whatever daggle hole or alt-right hole you're in. Yeah, that's work too. Working to getting out of whatever city that you were raised in, that you were deemed as non-select by even your mother and your sisters, and especially by the daggles you went to school with. If it's that bad, then go to a place where you're select. And that's if you do all the other steps in order to make sure that you're at least on point, if not flawless. Doing the work as in going back to school, getting a degree, or at the very least useful skills so that you won't have to worry about kissing ass and playing the game. Or if you do play the game, you can play the game with a decent hand. At least there's that. Or better yet, getting a job and skills and discipline and your reputation so high that one, if you are in a job, that it's basically a job for life because of how valuable you are and what you bring to the table and the people who have your back. Or better yet, having a job on your own terms in which you work for yourself or other people work for you. And in that case, the only person who can fire you is you. And let's not even talking about working where you want, getting up when you want, and getting up with who you want. I bet that will solve a lot of these problems that a lot of these guys have online with their 8-hour hangout streams talking about what women did and women done this. Because I went in my last or previous few videos about how a lot of these guys, well, it was the last video. I mean, yeah, these women are less than average out here. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to make sure that they can't point at you and say, well, yeah, I'm less than average. I may be worth crap, but you're in the same level. You're a freaking basement dwelling, neck beard having, or soy boy, limp wristed, leftist or rightist. Look, if you want to really get back at these women, put in the work. Time to go to work. And by going to work, you make sure that you are so busy that by the time you get home, you are too tired to even praise any sort of women. Look, if you aren't tired by the time you get home, at the very least, if you feel as if you didn't accomplish anything by the time you got home, then you didn't work hard enough. Especially if you have energy to go on in hours and talk about women, talk about what they're doing. Whereas for a lot of these guys out here who talk the most about women, doesn't it seem like they have the most time out of everybody in this sector just to have these live streams, to be on all the panels, all the live streams? They're going to go to all the shops. They're going to eat all the ice cream. They're going to have all the brisk, all the tea. Sunday night at the Rigs. I don't know how the song goes. But look, do the work so at the very least you won't have other people easily saying and pointing back to the finger at you and deflecting your arguments back at you, saying that you aren't crap. At least do that. And ultimately, do the work. And since a lot of people just care about women so much, and I'm telling you, I'm warning you about putting this women on top. Even the SYSPM guys, I support you guys, but stop pedalizing these women. Stop it, because one of these women, or a few of these women, are going to find out about this, and they're going to use naivety against you. They're going to use that, or either your naivety towards these Beckys and Selenas and Sakuras, because a lot of you probably haven't dealt with many of them as you want to sell to the world that you have, or especially to me. You can't fool me. Y'all better stop it. Either that, or they're going to use this blind hatred that you have towards a daggle that you're obsessed with hating so much that everything else that you'll see, or everyone else you'll see, it's an angel by default, which is a bad precedent, not only just for the manosphere, but definitely for SYSBM. Get to work. Get to work on yourself for starters, because that's ultimately who you're going to have to answer to at the end of the day and look in the mirror at the end of the night. Everyone else out there, always bet on X.